I don't have my drawer.
You've been doing okay?
How about you?
Good to see you, Ms. Appleton. You doing better today?
I'm doing better. Yes, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. How about you? Got my tissue. My nose is running even though I'm taking 2 allergy pills. It's driving me crazy.
Time of year.
Well, I was hoping that it would.
Only if you're going to do karaoke, you can take it out.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay, how's that? Can you hear me? Who can't hear me? Am I close enough now for you all to hear me? Okay, I got the thumbs up from Sam, so we'll call it good. I can just listen, put my chin on it and talk. How's this? Okay. Of course, always. Okay. Yeah. Is there a internet? Do we have it? Oh. Good. Okay. I still see some people coming up the stairs, so I want to give them a chance to get here. How you doing? Okay, I have 6:02. So I will call this meeting to order, and thank you for coming. If you haven't seen our beautiful new CTECH, it is a wonderful facility, and I certainly want to thank the community and everyone else who had a part in it. Okay, I have asked Mr. Eidson to say the prayer and Miss Jones to salute the flag, and our flag is right over here. Oh, I guess we want to know who's here. Mr. Calderon. Here. Mr. O'Brien. Here. Mr. Eidson. Here. Miss Jones.
Here.
And I am here. Thank you, folks, for letting me know. Okay, if you would like to join us, please stand.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today and the opportunity to gather here and celebrate our state champions. Father, we ask that the decisions we make here tonight be pleasing to you. Father, we ask that you watch over our seniors this week. Keep them smart. Let them make it through graduation. Father, and thank you for all the educators who got them here today. Father, we ask that you forgive us where we fail you. In your precious and holy name we pray. Amen.
We'll say the pledge if you would join me, please. Pledge allegiance
All situated? Okay, at this time, we will take public comments, no more than 5 minutes. And Ms. Lopez, you are my timekeeper. And just as a reminder to the board once again and to the audience, we cannot comment on what someone says. And so we can listen, but to comment on it would be seen as having a discussion on a subject that was not on our agenda. So, given that information, is there anyone who would like to comment today? Adjust the speaker however you need to.
Thank you. You guys hear me okay? Good evening. My name is Kimberly Davis, and I'm the parent of a 5th grader at Stone Elementary, where I also teach 2nd grade. On Thursday, April 13th, I alerted my principal to the fact that my daughter had been groomed by her PE teacher, isolated from the class on at least 2 occasions, Monday and Tuesday, April 10th and 11th, and told inappropriate things about her adult relationship. She told my daughter not to tell her parents. Things including a divorce from her current husband because he's an alcoholic, a new boyfriend that she met online who is famous, actually Jason Statham. He's going to come visit soon, and when he does, they are going to take my daughter with them to the red carpet. She showed my daughter text messages and pictures between the two of them. She showed pictures of this man, his house, a ring that he bought, and she told my daughter, "Don't tell your mom, I'll tell her." Because of her proximity to me, my daughter believed that she would tell me. My daughter was tricked. At this point, some people might shake their heads and feel bad for this teacher who is apparently being catfished and believes she's in a relationship with Jason Statham, but it's no laughing matter. Grooming steps include identifying and targeting a victim, gaining trust and access, playing a role in the child's life, isolating the child, creating secrecy around the relationship, and initiating sexual contact. Looking at this situation, the teacher and my daughter were on step 5, headed towards step 6. Let me remind you, this boyfriend was coming to visit soon, and she said that she would take my daughter to the red carpet with her. My husband and I told our school principal, whose resolution was to remove my daughter from the PE class and let her have lunch in my classroom during my class instruction time to avoid contact with this teacher. In that meeting, I asked my principal several times, what about the other kids? The principal did alert Human Resources, and she was placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. Later in the evening, I called my former principal, who's no longer employed by HMS, for help. This was prior to the teacher being placed on administrative leave. And my former principal set up a meeting for me to meet with Doug Young, doing more for my child and her former students than anyone else at that point, even though she's no longer employed by HMS. I emailed Debbie Cooper and Jean Strickland that evening and asked them both to be in attendance at my meeting with Human Resources the next day. Neither one were there. On multiple occasions, by several people, the importance of this issue has been diminished, chalking it up to the personal life of an employee that shouldn't be discussed or made public, but it was. It was discussed with my 10-year-old, and as I was told later, at least 5 other Stone teachers, including our school nurse, had gone to Miss Cottingham with concerns for health and safety of not only the PE teacher, but everyone in the building.
Just a second. Just let me remind you not to use names, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Titles are fine.
Yes, ma'am. Our principal had been notified prior to my child's harassment, and because of her lack of action, we did not have to reach the point that we're at now, that we're here. Parents have not been notified to ask if their children were also potential victims of grooming. During each meeting that I had with central office personnel, including Brian Bird, Doug Young, Debbie Cooper, I apologize. I'm sorry. I asked, what about the other children? I asked HR to review videos to see if any other children were involved with this teacher. I followed up at our closing meeting, and I was told that they didn't have time to review the tapes. They have a sexual harassment investigation, Title IX, on their desks for my child, but did not have time to check on the other students to see if they were also involved in anything with this teacher. I filed a separate formal complaint about my principal because she did not take action, even when this PE teacher's mental health affected the safety of the students around her. HR did conduct an investigation on the PE teacher, but when another person was supposed to be investigating the PE teacher also, she just reviewed another person's notes and did not conduct her own investigation separately. So I feel that teachers were not able to clearly express their concerns because they were not aware that 2 separate investigations were ongoing. They were only told about the one. In a meeting today that I had, we were told that neither HMS nor me and my husband have the full story, even though HMS has conducted 3 separate investigations, one for child safety, one for the personnel issue, and one for the Title IX sexual harassment case. It was insinuated that the teachers were not truthful about what they said in their statements to our principal and to Human Resources, nor to me, though the superintendent or the assistant superintendent have not spoken personally to these teachers.
Thank you so much. Sure. 5 minutes, Ms. Lopez?
Perfect. Same issue, Ms. Adams.
Same issue?
Same issue.
Time is up. You get 5 minutes an issue.
5 minutes an issue or 5 minutes a person? Because this
An
is I'm a
issue.
separate person.
I
Okay,
know.
well then I have an issue. My issue is revolved around safety, and clearly we don't care about the safety of our children, and so I'm hoping that we can make a change. Clearly, there needs to be a change. My name is David Davis. That's correct. So my wife printed everything out that she was going to read, but it takes longer than 5 minutes to read. So you guys are going to have the information. You guys will have access to it. My phone number, I can give it to you at the end. We're going to give it to the newspaper. Everybody's going to know about it so that you guys don't have to worry and wonder what we're talking about. It's time leadership recognizes this for the important impact that it is. We got lucky. I got lucky because my daughter wasn't taken to go meet some random person with her teacher that she trusted. The principal got lucky because we wouldn't stop with her suggestion to remove our child from the class. Parents and other students got lucky that this woman's no longer employed by HMS, and we have a chance to make things different. So let's make the necessary changes before our luck runs out. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, let's go ahead and get started. And, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Strickland, it is that time of the year. Time of the year that we've all been working hard from the time that they started kindergarten. And now in a few more days, we get to watch 630 of our students walk across that stage here on Saturday morning at Watson Stadium. So I brought with me my senior principal, Mr. Chris Otto, as well as my alternative school principal, Mrs. Lorna Jackson. And in the background over there, I do have my early college principal, Mrs. Chantel Phelps, who's hiding over there. Miss Chantel, come on up. Want to extend a cordial invitation to all of you regarding the invitation. And as they pass these out to you, there's 5 here that go to the board members, and then the other 5 go to the other people. These go to the other non-board members. So switch out with Harry and also with Mr. Strickland.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
We're doing a little bit of a take back, switching out notebooks. What you have in your notebook, you'll have a listing of the invitation for graduation for this Saturday. You'll also have the baccalaureate program that's scheduled for tomorrow evening at First United Methodist Church at 6 p.m. You also have in that packet the actual graduation program listing all of the students and staff that have assisted all of the students in their final step as we walk them across the stage. And then for your own personal information, you have a listing of your students that you're going to be presenting a diploma with. And so we'll be providing that as well in case you happen to misplace it, leave it at home. We'll give it to you guys as well on graduation day. So I wanted to inform you as well that this past week we had a graduation at the New Mexico Junior College where our students actually graduated 1 week ago with their associate's degree in arts or in science prior to receiving their high school diploma. And so the students, again, with the help of Mrs. Phelps, we were able to graduate 16 students, each earning a combined total of 28 degrees for them to begin their passageway. So very exciting time for all of us, for the parents whose kids went to early college. It'll save them 2 years of them having not to pay for them to go to college, as well as time beyond high school. So again, we're very excited, and we'd love for you to be a part of our graduation. Again, 630 students that we're currently working with, and we're currently working on a few more, kicking and screaming, dragging them along the way. So hopefully we can bump that number up. If you recall the numbers that we had last year, we had 625 students that graduated, making that class the biggest high school class we've ever had. Prior to that, we had 610. So again, we're moving up at 630 for this year. So I stand for questions. And again, I do invite you all to be there for our graduation. I do appreciate every single one of your support.
What time do pictures start?
So pictures do start at 8 o'clock in the morning. We do ask that the students arrive there a little bit sooner simply because it's a little bit larger group. What I do ask each and every single one of you, I'm looking at our weather forecast for Saturday. Okay, weather forecast says currently 78 degrees high expected with 23% chance of shower. So I ask every single one of you, if you have the luck that I have, do not wash your cars, please, because that typically brings rain and also hail. We're going to be doing a video so that parents who are going to be parking, it's very important. We have a graduation practice that's scheduled for the students this Friday at 9 o'clock. Very important that they do show up. The video is going to be going out tomorrow, kind of informing you of where your student is going to be sitting. So you may be sitting at the home side, or some of you may be sitting at the visitor side. So it's important that they go. Tickets do go out tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the students will use their ID number as their passcode to be able to get 17 tickets, okay? So if there's any questions, Mr. Otto, myself, Mrs. Jackson, or Ms. Phelps can assist in answering those questions for you guys. Again, we'd love for all of you to be there because you've all been a part of our students. And again, we want this to be one of the biggest classes ever that we've ever had. So again, thank you for all that you do for our kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Turigates, you got a minute?
Yes, sir.
Get on right here. I want to thank you for the job you've done with the Hobbs schools. You were at Lovington, and we stole you and brought you up here. When we had the COVID, all the stuff that you were doing, and from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you for your leadership and working with the kids.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
I only have one comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we going to have a sack lunch and bottled water?
We will give you all that. Yes, ma'am.
We won't need it because we are so good. We can graduate these kids.
Last year, I think, from the time that the first name came across, or first student walked across that stage to the very last student, I think it was 1 hour and maybe 10 minutes walking back. 625 kids. So
Great.
if you notice, I even had to take a small pause midway because my throat went dry. I
I
had to take a
remember
couple
that.
of drinks of water and get them going. So again, thank you all for your help and support.
Wonderful.
Okay, you've had a chance to look over your... One more. I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing hands, Brandy.
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Strickland. Our teachers, there were 55 teachers that committed to communities of practice, And so we have their boards over here displayed. So we have brought them here tonight so that if anyone would like to take a look at them, they can. There was 4 different COPs, and we, out of 55 that joined, we had 48 complete them. So we were very impressed. Last year we had 1 COP, and this year we had 4. So we would love for anyone to go look at their displays. They've done a fantastic job.
Thank you. We'll get to that
Yes, ma'am.
after the meeting.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? My eyes are open. I am looking. Okay. Do I have an approval for the agenda, a motion to approve the agenda?
So move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, we had 2 different minutes, and I think we have to do them separately. We can do them together. Okay. We have the minutes from the regular board meeting on April 18th, and then we had a special board meeting on April 22nd. Do I hear a motion? 24th. I can't read either.
I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now we get to the good stuff. So, Mr. Strickland.
Yes, sir. Madam President, members of the board, I ask that you step here in front, and we're going to recognize our state champions, our most recent state champions.
No, I got it. I'm not gonna trip over you.
I'm not doing that. Madam President and members of the board and Mr. Strickland, we're back with some more state champions. So I'm so pleased to recognize our state champion cheer. My assistant is not here tonight, so I need some help with the posters. Any volunteers? Thank you, thank you. These young ladies and young gentlemen, 2 years back-to-back champions. We sent them to California to compete in nationals, and they got a 3rd place, 2 third places, so that's awesome because it's nationals. Came back to the state of New Mexico, and they won again. First of all, I want to thank Jenny Kavanaugh. These posters that are put together for you guys, your memories, Miss Jenny put those together for you guys. We pay for them. She puts them together for you guys. So if you guys would just give a warm round of applause for our state champion spirit team. We'll recognize the members now. Elena Allen, Bailey Lilly, Carlos Ruiz, Ever Moreno, Ileana Estrada, Cameron Owensby, Kaylee Godinez, McKenna Henry, Mario Chavarria, Pablo Garcia, Yasmin Valdez, Valente Lopez, Elizabeth Gleba, Ellie Rodriguez, Emily Gomez, Emily Stewart, Grace Evans, Madison Kincaid, Amaris Navarro. Amaris, I'm so sorry. Jalen Castillo, Jordan Palacios, George Garcia, Lily Mendoza, Miley Ochoa, Riley Murillo, Mallory Gonzalez, And our gold standard coaches, head coach Brittany McCleary, Renee Greitz, and Bailey Pilkington. And I just want to remind you guys that cheer is year-round. So these people practice, they start practicing in June, they finish end of March. So these coaches are all going on their own different directions. So thank you guys for your time and your dedication and your service. Thank you guys for allowing our cheer team to go to nationals, because that is a huge, huge accomplishment. So we appreciate all you guys do for kids. Thank you guys.
Hi, I'm Valente. I just want to appreciate everything that you guys have done for us and helped us, paid for everything for us to go to Anaheim, California. Thank you so much.
I would also like, oh, that was really loud. I would also like to say thank you. You guys gave these kids a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it is something that they will never forget, nor will I. It was a dream come true for me. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever imagine to be, to compete on the national level. And these kids did a great job, and they represented Hobbs. Nobody knew who we were when we walked in, but they sure did remember us when we left, and they will for a while. They made their mark, and I'm so proud of them. And we just want to say thank you for allowing or for giving these kids that opportunity and us coaches. So thank you.
Brittany, real quick. I don't know. Can you hear on this one? So I just want to take a second, and in addition to the posters that you have and the medals that you have around your neck, and the support that the school board has for each and every one of you, I want to express my appreciation for you guys being phenomenal ambassadors for Hobbs Schools. You're recognized across the state of New Mexico. They recognize you as a team that competes together through thick and thin. I know some of the trials and tribulations you guys and gals had days, I'm talking hours before competition. And so, great job finding a way to fight through that and continue to come together as a team. In addition to that, our state senators, Senator Gay Kernan and Senator David Gallegos, have prepared a certificate for each one of you, and it says 56th Legislature 2023. The New Mexico State Senate hereby recognizes, each one of you will have your name on it, for Hobbs High School Co-Ed Varsity Cheer NMAA 5A 2023 state champions, and it's signed by each one of them. So I'm going to give these to Coach, and that way you guys can have those after the fact. Thank y'all again. Appreciate y'all, and congratulations. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we'll group up here for a picture with this in the background, and then we'll come back and do skills. So, Madam President, members of the board, as well as audience in attendance, our next group to recognize is Skills USA, and their advisor is Juan Carlos Medina.
Just scoot in the front, it's okay. Let's group up. Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Strickland, I want to take a minute for you to recognize the also state champions in their specific competitions. You see a lot of the students have their banners for the contest that they won, symbolizing that they are the state champion in this competition for Skills USA New Mexico. All combined, Hobbs High School brought 23 gold medals from the competition. $12 silver medals and 1 bronze medal. We had our largest delegation of students ever to travel to Skills USA New Mexico. I don't know if you noticed or you saw the Instagram post, but we actually had to take 2 buses to transport all 65 of our students and staff. I have 2 students. We had a proclamation yesterday at the City Commission meeting as declaring yesterday Skills USA Day. A lot of students are holding some different things. AJ over here, we've been recognized as a gold chapter of distinction in New Mexico, a gold quality chapter. We're the only school in New Mexico for Skills USA to be recognized as a gold chapter of distinction this year. And then if you didn't notice the huge banner in the back, I'll read it right what it says. Congratulations to the 2023 Skills USA National Model of Excellence recipients. And what that means is out of nearly 4,000 schools that Skills USA has, we are amongst the top 24 in the country. So we thank you, as always, for your continuous support for Skills USA. I know Mr. Calderon, Ms. Jones has seen me when I was these students' age competing in Skills USA. So now to be here with the students and then celebrating them in return makes my heart happy to see that come full circle for them. So just another round of applause for the students. Thank you to all the parents who are here as well.
So in addition to that, Senator Kernan and Senator Gallegos also issued a certificate for each member of Skills USA who medaled in the state competition. And I'm going to read it just the same. New Mexico State Senate, 56th Legislature, 2023. The New Mexico State Senate hereby recognizes each individual student for 2023 Skills USA Championships, whatever medal, whatever competition, on April 15, 2023. Signed, Senator Gary Kernan, Senator David Gallegos. So again, students, what you all have the opportunity to participate in has been a journey. And while you may only get to participate in skills for 3 or 4 years, you're standing on the shoulders of giants who have built that path before you. Continue to honor that legacy. When you go in just over a short month from now to Georgia and compete as the Hobbs chapter from New Mexico on the national level, remember that. Remember that we're here supporting you. We stand behind each and every one of you. And each and every one of you are gold. We expect great things out of you and good luck to you. Congratulations.
I did want to point out, I have, just like any student leadership organization, there's student officers who represent the state that represent Skills USA New Mexico as a state level. So we're fortunate to have 3 state officers from Hobbs High School, AJ Portillo, Juan Arona, and Abigail Trammell, 3 student officers leading the state as well. We can try to squeeze in for a picture however we can.
Seconds, I'm the only thing on the planet. This hand. Keep it right up here. All eyes, right here. All right, next. Thanks, guys.
So, Madam President, members of the board, we've got one more presentation this evening. And this is an award actually selected by you members, you as the School Board Association. School Board Association allows you all to select employees, groups of employees, departments to recognize for excellence in student achievement. And this year, the Hobbs Municipal Schools Board of Education would like to recognize our computer-aided instruction as a department. Come on up, come on up. So what we've got is we've got a plaque here for the department, and then each member of computer-aided instruction, or CAI, will receive a plaque recognizing their same things. Gentlemen and ladies, what's occurred over the last 3 years, we all know. We've all felt it, we've all experienced it, and we've all had different experiences. Many of us have had personal trauma that's gone through that. Many of us have had a number of successes throughout these past 3 years to find the silver lining. Throughout that, each and every one of you step up, and under Andrew's leadership, you fill the gap. You meet the needs for our kids with whatever it means when there has a blinking light on it. That's kind of been the definition. If it blinks, it's CAI's responsibility. And so to each of you, as a superintendent, thank you. Thank you for you stepping in the gap and many times never even being seen. So I think it's odd that you're in black shirts because you hide in the background a lot of times. But we do know that education couldn't happen at the level that it happens without the services and the unique skills that each and every one of you bring. So great job, congratulations. I'm going to hand this first one to Andrew, and then I'm literally going to start reading off the names of the plaques. So you got to listen for your name. They're not in alphabetical order. Perfect. Noe Soto. Yes, sir. Just go on through there, and they'll shake hands with you. Julian Bararez. All right. Ana Navarrete. Here you go, right here. Alex Marquez. Edith Ramirez. Quiros.
Don't forget, Quiroz. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Andrew Toglia. Thank you. Nancy Herrera. Not here. Lori Herrera.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Gavin Castillo. Congratulations. Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
David Madron. All right, David. Sir, thanks, David.
Congratulations.
Jennifer Mota. Thank you.
Congratulations.
David Bautista. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Virginia Medina. Congratulations. Thank you. Erica Duarte. Congratulations. Yes, ma'am. Albert Hernandez. Thanks, Albert. Appreciate you. Ryan Swinney. Best haircut. Best haircut.
Congratulations.
We saved the best haircut for last. So same routine. We'll come over here and grab a group picture together.
Skills, the hand. Watch the hand. Gets rid of the deer in the headlights. Look, if you're looking at the hand. Come on, that's my best joke. Perfect. Thank you.
Save the best for last, huh? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
It's always, oh, somebody turned my mic off. Can you hear me now?
Pictures are over, jackets off.
Am I dead? See? We say, way to go, CAI.
Now you can try.
We're good now?
Is it turned off? Is it green?
It is now. I had turned it off previously. Well, Ms. Cooper, what have you got for us that's picture-worthy?
Nothing picture-worthy tonight, Madam
Rats.
President.
Congratulations. Feel free to leave if you are with our special guests.
You need to wait? Give it a minute.
Kind of noisy.
Okay.
Okay.
Madam President, members of the board, the first thing up for your information tonight is when I talked to you last month, I said I'd bring you more information on Summer Institute, and that's what you're looking at tonight. You can see the first two May dates are leadership. We'll be doing not only every member of leadership, but every school will have a small team, 2 to 3, in some cases 4 or 5, that will attend the 2-day workshop around professional learning communities. We have so many new staff. We're going to be doing a refresher and kind of getting back of something that we've participated and practiced in for many, many years. So we're excited about that. The first group that you're looking at, page 1 and page 2 and 3 and 4, are elementary, and you'll see a variety of offerings from letters training to studies weekly to the science of reading. And below that, I'm on page 3. Are we together? Yes? You'll see that Murray staff is getting some of their staff trained. Well, they are a recipient of Family Income Index money, Murray and Edison. So they're using some of that grant money to bring some training to their staff. So that's why you see Capturing Kids' Hearts, Murray staff. You see positive behavior supports for anyone who would like to attend that. And then Murray staff is also doing Make It Numbers. On the next page, Make It Numbers is also Edison will be using their Family Income Index money for the same training for their staff. District-wide, we're offering the Make It Numbers for all staff who would like to attend, and also there's an all-staff Capturing Kids' Hearts for anyone who would like to attend that one. If you turn to the next page, we begin to look at secondary. A lot of secondary, you'll see Community of Practice, which we had a presentation on that about 2 months ago. Godswill spoke about it. You had a little flyer, and that is the end result of those, called the Capstone Project. Every teacher who completed did not only a board, but did an oral presentation as well on what they had learned and how they were using it. So we're offering 2 more communities of practice in the summer. Also, we have several departments who are doing curriculum writing and updates, science choir, math social studies, and ELA. And then near the end, we're looking at some training for teachers on the different drugs that are out there that we hope they don't see in the school system, but so they can recognize the effects of it and be aware of what a child might be going through. So that's a half-a-day training offered twice, and that's the end of the Summer Institute. I'll stand for any questions.
This question may not be for you, but what day is the innovation guy coming?
May 30th.
May. Okay. I got my answers. Not the day. I really want to know the 31st.
We'll be there both days, but he won't be there on the 31st.
I know. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Any questions, comments?
Have none.
None. All right. The next one, Madam President, members of the board, is going to be an approval item. We just saw and heard about the Skills USA. Now the students 25 who attended and qualify for the national competition this is what that proposal is, for them to go to the national competition. And I think I have a partner in crime on this presentation, Mr. Medina. So he will stand for any questions. But let me tell you what you're seeing. You're seeing a cover letter, you're seeing an agenda, and then you should be seeing a revised budget that has green highlighted for the total amount of the cost. There you go. And Mr. Medina's here to answer any questions you might have about that.
I'm back.
Thanks for coming.
Welcome back.
President Appleton, members of the board, like Ms. Cooper was saying, this is just an approval item on that. I prepared the letter. We're happy to answer any questions on that, as well as the details of kind of how what the students will be participating in, and then a review of the budget as well. Our current plan is to travel via bus. We've been in contact with B&G Transportation on the logistics of that. They've recommended a stop at the halfway point just because of the distance. The halfway point that they've kind of designated is Shreveport, Louisiana, and then spend the night there, and then continue the second leg of the journey over to Atlanta. So all of those details are on that budget. It's all there, but I'm happy to explain any specific number if we need to go into detail on it.
Any questions?
I have none.
It's a long bus ride.
Yeah, and these topics and quantities have been discussed with Mr. Strickland. They've been discussed with Mr. Caney as well, so they're aware of the amounts, especially because it's an out-of-state trip. That's because we just want to make sure that we have your approval, your rubber stamp, whatever we want to call it, to make sure that you're with us, and let us know if there's anything we need to change or adjust in our travel plans or registration. You also somewhere in your notes have a list of all the students who will be attending and all the teachers who will be attending as well.
You know it's hot in Atlanta?
Oh yes.
Just
Yes.
checking.
Madam President, members of the board, in addition, this request is not for additional money. This money was already budgeted in anticipation of us taking a large contingency to nationals. So the
Great.
consideration in front of us tonight is to allow that group to travel out of state.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Get out your shorts and your flip-flops. You're going to be sweating.
Thank you. We'll
I'm
send you a
just saying.
postcard. I think you usually get postcards.
Yes,
every
we
time you go, so
do.
We'll send you a postcard.
Coca-Cola.
We can do that.
Okay, it looks like Mr. Young is the one that's going to take the helm this time.
Let me adjust the mic for Mrs. Cooper there. So, Madam President, members of the board, I am substituting for Mr. Byrd tonight, but we do have in front of you the HR reports. As you're familiar, over years past, this is always a short list in May. We have very few hires and resignations that take place in April. And so the big list of resignations and retirements will hit on next month's agenda, and then our new hires will be coming after the school year starts. So just kind of giving you a little forewarning on that. Classified employment, you see two people there, one at Edison, one at Warehouse. Certified resignations, we had two, one at Will Rogers and one at Stone. And then our classified resignations, we had 5 classified resignations. Maintenance, Nutritional Services, Hobbs High, Murray, and Jefferson Elementary. Any questions or comments on that?
I have none.
Okay. So we also have before you a proposal for COVID premium pay. This is something that we've done before in the past. As outlined in the letter, we haven't done that this year. We did do that in 20, 21, and 22. So we did have a payment. Our last payment was in March of 2022. And our proposal for this year would be to take our employees that were active at that time from April through June, July through September, October through December, and then January through March with the governor's expiration of her emergency order ending the COVID pandemic. So what we're proposing is, instead of just a group lump sum, everyone would be paid the same amount in which they were employed by each quarter that they worked. So, you know, I kind of explained it this way was you've got 100 ceiling tiles in a room. I put 99 of them up. Another person puts one up. Should we be paid the same? And so we're just trying to honor and recognize those people who stuck with us throughout all of COVID. This proposal would be contingent upon PED approval of our plan. They have not yet approved that submission. Mrs. Flowers submitted that proposal to the federal programs at PED last week, and so we're still waiting to hear back from them on whether or not they approve the payout of COVID premium pay once again. I know that other schools have done this. Gadsden has already had theirs approved, and so we anticipate no problems from PED. And so this would be an action item for approval. I'll answer any questions you might have.
Any questions?
I have none.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Young.
Thank you, and our employees will thank you as well.
Operations. Anyone? Oh, there he is.
All right. How are we doing? Madam President, members of the board, good evening. Real quick, we're going to go through our project list, and then we'll look at Southern Heights. We did take Mr. Calderon through a little site visit the other day, and I'm sure he'll share some of that information with you. For our Southern Heights projects, what we have going on currently is, and you can see that list going on right there. We'll see some evidence of that shortly. And so if you have any questions regarding what any of this means, I'll be happy to clarify that.
I think they started putting the windows up on the south side.
Yes, sir. So what we're going to see in the slideshow here in a little bit is how that work is chasing itself out of the building in Area C, which is the first area that's started with in the bottom floor. Those rooms are pretty much done. Bathrooms are done, the walls are done, everything's complete. And as that's happening, A and B is also closing itself up, and we'll see that shortly. You're right, those windows are in the bottom floor, and now they're doing that on the top floor as well. Yes, sir. On 2, we have all the equipment that's landed for a chiller replacement. Everything's on site, and our target date for June 5th is still good. So we're excited about that to get done. And that's going to be at the minimum 6 weeks, and long part is going to be 8 weeks. So we'll see how that works out. Keep your fingers crossed.
I think we've been talking about this chiller for 3 years now.
It's been
be a big celebration.
It's going to be great. Yeah, you're right. But it's all here. It's all here. Now we just need to vacate the premises in order to get it installed. So we're excited about that. On our ongoing projects, we have on Rec 7, WWRC's has a notice to proceed. The demo and remodel will commence when school's out. So we're looking at a May 29th to June 5th in between there to start demo and remodel for Rec 7 alterations. On Central Kitchen, if you've passed by there, that slab is poured, structural steel is up. Some of the concrete's already, some of the walls are coming up right now. So that's exciting as well. On College Lane, so here comes the big ones. The architectural plans are complete and they're in review by the city. So you're not going to lose. The north side of the road seems to be what's going to be losing its space, right? So nothing on the south side of the road, and that's probably good news for some, right? Okay. Will Rogers, same thing. Those plans are complete. Review for the city. There'll be one small change in and I talked to David Roybal earlier in the week that the west side of Rec 7 is going to be the ADA entrance and going to encompass Will Rogers parking lot. So we're going to make some of those spaces. We're going to change that space up just a tad bit in order to be in compliance and to have easier access to Rec 7. So small change there. On our new projects, no change on 1 and 2. When we go to 3, we're about done with the punch list. There's a few doors that have been marked to either have some repair done, and then those scan card installs should proceed, and then we'll have that walkthrough. The quotes are in, and now we'll be looking for scheduling for our summer projects with our windows and caseworks throughout the district. On 5, we're going to be visiting with G&G tomorrow regarding a roof maintenance contract and kind of the scope of what we're looking for and what we're needing. We have multiple styles of roofs in the district and different ages, so we'll walk through them with that regarding what we're looking for in a maintenance program and then move on from there. Everything else, there's not much more that's moved. You can see there that we have 56 active projects and 26 of those have been encumbered. Stand for any questions regarding our project list. If we go to the Southern Heights update, it's similar to the one that we did last week, where you'll see this front portion of the building, and if we can go through that one, that'd be fine. That next. So, and you'll see at the bottom where it says now that's May 11th. Same thing at the front of the building. You can see where the CMU walls are going up now. Concrete's been poured in the front. Front of the building on April 19th. And so on. Then we're making our way back around that corner. You can see them CMU walls going up, or the concrete walls going up. It's the back side on March 7th. And you can see that, how it's taking shape on May 11th. Our roof. And so that TPO is down right now, and they'll have some inspectors down to come and take a look at that to make sure everything is on par. Here's our gym. You'll see from April 19th to the progression where they are now. Everything's taking shape now. It's starting to look like a school building, so it's pretty exciting. This is the first floor, and you can see where those rooms have really look like rooms now. And on the very top, you can see where the ceiling tiles are being placed in. They're pretty confident they have everything in the ceiling that they need, so they're closing those up now. You can go ahead and move through that. Those are the bathrooms. So this is the second floor, and you can see where there's some portions of the building that look like this upstairs. And if you'll move forward a couple of slides there, and you can see where you see some walls that have the insulation in, and then they start to a little bit of a sheetrock, and then some that are being actually closed up with the ceiling tiles going in, and that's all on that second floor. So they're chasing their way out, and you have that impact-resistant walls going in as well, and that hallway. And that's all of that's going on there. Any questions regarding Southern Heights?
Are we at a point, I talked to Mr. Strickland, where we could have our next board meeting? I think it was in the gym that was going to be ready. Are we at that point, we could have a meeting up there?
So there's
maybe
some
in
things
July?
you probably can do, and some things that would have to, some hurdles that we'd have to overcome, and some of that's going to be power, right? So if you're okay with doing with no power and some open air,
It's up to everybody, or we can
yeah,
do it.
it's a
that's
great
fine.
space, and I would invite everyone to come and look. But I think once we get near to maybe get some air circulating, maybe July, that may be a little better, a better time to go through there. And again, I invite anyone who, anytime they want to walk through there, please come through. It's impressive. It's an impressive building. But I would say July would probably be the better marker, and maybe in that June meeting, we can touch on this again to see if that's a good idea or not. Any other questions regarding Southern Heights? No.
Any questions? Okay.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Oh, now we're to the money game.
Never mind. Madam President, members of the board, for your consideration, we have expenditures, investments, a bid, and some bars.
Okay, we have had our information for several days, and I hope if you had any questions for Ms. Gray, you took the opportunity to get them answered. If not, I will consider a motion.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
All right. Madam President, members of the board, this is the important thing, the thing we wait for all year. After many months of blood, sweat, and tears among all of cabinet and many other people, we have the 23-24, I can't believe I'm saying that, but the 23-24 budget for your consideration. It's already actually been reviewed by PED, so that it's not going to change. So let's start. I'm always excited about the money. I know I'm kind of weird like that. Money is, how we invest in our staff and in our students, and so I'm a firm believer in that. Other people's money, as you heard me say. So, all right. So first, the state equalization guarantee was $113.4 million. That does not include money we got for summer school. That's a separate pot of money, but we didn't want to budget that because that's for summer school. So what this includes is our normal SEG, plus we did get credit for 3 calendar days, so 183 days. So we did get a little extra credit for that, I think. So, yeah. So it's $113.4 million. And I should say, I say this every time, but this is only operational. This isn't any of the federal, this isn't debt service, activity, any of that. So that's just operational. Ad valorem, oil and gas, we project those are going to be close to $800,000. We have a joint powers agreement with the city. We get some interest. Indirect cost is what we get for managing some of the federal funds. It's usually around 2%. And then, so that's the indirect cost, $30,000. So as you can see, it's $114,348,000. So big question, how are we going to spend that? As always, first and foremost is staff. And so our personnel at the moment, like if you were to take everyone today, their salary would be $63.4 million. We have some open positions that were filled either by long-term subs or by overloads or those type of scenarios. So, but I have faith in HR. Doug is amazing. I have faith in him. So he's going to hire those 20 people. So I'm going to budget them $1.5 million. So, and then ERB is going up for the employer portion to 18.15. Employees won't change, so that's good for them. They're going to stay at 10.7, I believe. Ours is going up a percent, so that's good for the employee. Retiree health care stayed at 2% for us, 1 for the employee. FICA, Medicare, our friends, that didn't change. They get their share, of course. Health insurance, $6.5 million. I'll talk a little bit more, as I did last meeting, about what we're going to do with the premiums on that. But 6.5 if we kept it at the levels we are now, which is roughly 64% that we cover for the staff, depending on where they are in the pay scale. And so that would be that plus the annual increase. Life insurance, dental, vision, and catastrophic. So you can see that 89.5 is just right off the top in staff. Substitutes, time cards, 1.6 million. So that's 91.1 million right off the top that goes to staff before raises before any of the cool things that we're going to do. So then you move on. $100,000 for district travel. That doesn't include activity. That doesn't include athletics. That's just, you know, administration and those kind of things. 100,000. As you know, we are a firm believer in professional development. As you can see by the things we have planned this summer and ongoing, we believe that that's super important. So $715,000 towards professional development. I get to pay to be audited. I don't know how that works, but it does. So $60,000 for them to tell me how bad I am. No, how good I am, right? That's what it's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be. All right. So that's $60,000, and of course that's required annually as a government entity. So budget allocation non-payroll. So that $5.8 million is what goes out to the schools, exclusive of salaries, exclusive of professional development. That's what they can spend on printing and pencils and pens and things outside of utilities and just things they need to keep their school running. So that's 5.8. Important to note, I always bring this up, we have not decreased that since COVID. So even though the school might have lost students, they never went down. Now, if they gained students, they did get an increase. It's roughly $100 a student, and we've gone up a little bit on that, so it's a little bit over $100 a student, but no one has gone down, and they at least have stayed the same pre-COVID. So that's important, I think, to note. Instructional materials, $1.3 million. And risk coverage, that's the NIPSIA risk insurance for everything. And, you know, that includes our drones and all the fun things. So every year we do an intense survey, and they ask how many volunteers, how many drones, how much square footage, you know, all the kind of things. And they take that. And so honestly, in my opinion, for as much square footage, as many students, as much staff, 1.8, I think that's a testament to how well, as a district, maintenance, warehouse, everybody works together to keep our facilities safe and all those kind of things, the claims down. And so really, I think 1.8, given our facility size, is amazing. Workers' comp is $1 million. Again, that's HR does a great job of managing that. All right, now, gotta keep the lights on. At least it's helpful, right? 1.7 for electricity. Gas is $118,000. 1.1 million for water, sewer, and then communications $130. So all of the utilities alone are $3 million. So as you can see, once we get to that, the non-personnel expenditures, all that kind of thing, that leaves us with $9 million. Now you ask yourself, how's Carrie going to spend $9 million? I can do it. Trust me. I can do it. And as always, we have a zero-based budget, so I have to allocate every single penny, and I do. So the first thing is it was mandated to have 6% raises for all employees. She did strike the language that said average, which is great. So that means every employee you can average, every single employee gets at least 6%. So that's 3.8. So no one in our district will experience less than 6%. Some more, but none less than 6. Insurance, this is the cool thing. So the way they wrote the legislature was very awkward because it was like you could either pay 60 if they made under 50,000. I'm sorry, you'd pay 80% if they made under 50,000. 50 to 60,000, you would pay 70%. Is that correct? And then 60 over. Anyway, yeah. So we didn't want to do that. You would literally have teachers moving in between those levels as they leveled up, and that didn't seem right. So Mr. Strickland and his guidance and hard work, we 1.3 million to make it 80% for everybody, so they don't have to worry if they get a raise that now they're paying more insurance premium. So we're just going to cover 80 for everybody. So we're above and beyond what the legislature requires. So that's 1.3. Another thing they did was parapros, is licensed paraprofessionals. All of our paraprofessionals are licensed, so are going to 25,000, which is great. So that's 1.2 million. You'll see summer school is 0. because as I mentioned, we do get a separate bucket of money within SEG for that. So, all right, PALs, those are our parent attendance liaisons. Currently, they're being paid out of a federal fund, but we know that those federal funds from COVID and everything are gonna start going away at the end of next year. So we're gonna bring those in to operational and keep those positions. So that's $750,000. Summer Institute is something that we also have been paying out of federal, but again, we want to continue that, and that's $500,000. And then we know that in the future, in the next couple of years, we're going to be needing a new middle school, and so we want to start preparing that. And so, $250,000 just to kind of start the ball rolling on getting that going, so that once it is up and going, we'll be prepared. So I believe. And any questions on that? So that leaves us with 1.1 million. And every year, the principals, as well as any leaders of the departments, submit their budget request, and we prioritize them based on need and rank them as a 1, 2, or 3, and then within that, we sub-rank them. And we look at several things. Is it realistic? Is it the need? And is there another fund that can fund it? So some of them might be funded out of federal. For example, something out of special ed, we might pay for that out of IDEA B. So she might get what she was requesting, it just might not be out of operational. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we had $6 million worth of requests. Much of that is covered through IDEA B, different areas. And I'll be glad to send those requests to any of you that you would like and rank them. And I know Mrs. Appleton had asked for that. So that shows the ranking 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, so yeah. So you can see that priority 1 is 854,000, priority 2, 303, and the priority 3 is 40,000. So that is, and as always, I think our salaries were 86% of our budget. I can do the final numbers now that we know that the request, but it's going to be at least 86% of our entire budget. Oh, and these are the other funds. I did this for your information. We're not going to go over page by page, but these are just the other funds, so you'll know. The federal, you're going to see when applications are there, and the state ones, you're going to see those as they bring you the application for IDEA B, Title I, those kind of things, so you'll see those amounts. Transportation's in there. Activity, bond, you can, those are just for your information, and I'll answer any questions over those. So I stand for any questions, but that is our budget.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Gray concerning the budget?
I have none.
Looks pretty good. Looks like you squeezed every penny till it squeals.
I'm pretty good at that. No, we're really excited. We feel it's a good budget. I think.
I think it'll mean a lot to our staff when they realize that 80% for their insurance and then getting a 6% raise, because lots of times the raise pops you up into a higher insurance bracket.
Absolutely.
And then you don't see it, or in some cases Social Security bracket.
Exactly.
But anyway, we're hoping that all of our staff will have a raise and spend it wisely.
Yes, ma'am. And the 80% will start July 1st. So the teachers, when they come back August 15th, it'll be on their first check. 12 months, it'll be on that July 15th. But I agree with you. I think it's good, and especially the way the legislator had broken it down. Again, you don't want teachers paying more insurance from one year to the other just because they leveled up or it just didn't make sense.
Okay, this requires approval by the board. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay.
Thank you. And then, Madam President, members of the board, for your consideration is approval of hotel reservations that were above 215 for one of our employees to attend the American Library Association's National Conference in Chicago. It's so hard to find $215 rooms, especially when you're at a conference in a big city. So she had put in that request.
And if she's going by, is she going by herself? Or are there two of them?
Just herself.
Yeah, that's even worse.
It is.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions about the hotel reservation before we take a motion?
Have none.
Okay, do I have a motion
So move.
and a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, thank you. And then the last thing is just the monthly budget report for your
Yes.
information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. I'm gonna steal this from you for a second.
What am I doing? Were you going to do a stand-up routine and I missed it because I was busy scrolling? Okay, Mr. Strickland.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Madam President, members of the board, tonight, first item is really just information on our Portrait of a Graduate. Today, we had our third session where we met with the design team, and I think at last count, our number was in excess of 80 people here today that participated in that. I think Christy's nodding her head. Maybe it was closer to, oh, okay. All right. She was going to check me on my numbers. Again, 3 unique sessions that are geared solely towards identifying what our community says the expectations should be of our school district in terms of the capacity of our students when they graduate. Interestingly enough, the vast majority of the conversation has been about skills and competencies that are non-cognitive based, meaning it's not about algebra, it's not about English, it's not about science. It's about communication, it's about adaptability, it's about collaboration. Having a growth mindset is where that conversation is centered. And so today, the design team took what was 6 competencies that were really strong competencies, and they had to debate really 2 things. One was, do we have 5 competencies, or do we go to 4? And that or came about in the last few minutes of our time together today. And so the project team, or the support team, will meet again tomorrow morning to take that feedback and really dive into that. But the group that worked on collaboration slash, what was the other phrase? Contribution. They came to a consensus and actually had an action item, they said, and had a vote, a roll call vote. But they said, you know what, let's not convolute this, and let's move to 4 competencies and take some of those descriptors and some of that language and move it into those other 4. So we'll consider that feedback tomorrow morning. Been a lively group. Some of you have been able to participate in that, and so we appreciate you doing that. Absolutely appreciate CTECH's hospitality. Zeke and Christy, you guys have done a great job taking care of us. And I know we're a needy group, but you've done a really good job of flexing with us and really taking care of us. In June, we will meet again on June the 14th as that design team, and we will consider the graphic piece that Batil for Kids is putting together through their graphic artist, and we will also consider those final competencies and those descriptors or definitions that go along with that. So a lot of good work happening in those 3 meetings, and really has been encouraging to see that work and see our community consistently engaged. Had no idea how many people were going to show up today, in the middle of May, the 3rd meeting. But it was really encouraging to see that number of people show up. So, with that, I'd stand for questions.
Seems the one time I leave 3 minutes early, y'all have a big revelation. But just, our group did discuss that.
Good.
I'm just saying, we were on the cutting edge and didn't know it. Okay. Summer hours.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Madam President, members of the board, I have for your consideration this evening similar consideration that we've taken for a number of years, that in the summertime, district employees, 12-month employees, would go to 4-day weeks. And those 4-day weeks would consist of starting at 7 a.m. and closing at 5 p.m. Our current hours are 7:30 to 4:30 for district offices. This would expand that on either end of that start and stop, and it would afford our employees that Friday holiday, Friday 3-day weekend throughout the summertime. Typically in the summer, things we think slow down. However, it's just a different kind of pace in the summertime. But this, as proposed, would begin on June the 2nd, would be our first Friday, and then our last Friday would be July the 21st.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Strickland regarding summer hours? Something that we routinely have done. So I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay. Vacation.
Yes, ma'am. Madam President, members of the board, the last item I have this evening is for consideration of staff leave accumulation. You have in your packets some of the history associated with this. Employees are allowed to collect or move forward various forms of leave, whether that's personal leave. If employees contribute to United Way, they're able to earn a United Way day, as well as sick leave. 12-month employees are allowed to accumulate vacation leave. They're afforded vacation as part of their benefits. We have board policy that says they can't exceed 40 days of accumulation, and in the event they have greater than 40 days, they would forfeit those days at the end of that year. What this policy does is it takes a practice, or what this motion does is it takes a practice that we currently engage in. When an employee separates from the district, we buy back those days. Currently, those days, whether they're vacation or sick leave, are a liability that we carry on our financial statement. This practice would allow us, for those employees that would stand to forfeit days at the end of a calendar year, we would buy those days back for them at a financial benefit to that employee so that they would not sacrifice that benefit. These would be employees that are 12-month, have been in the district for a number of years to accumulate those number of days of 40 days. They would not be able to buy down their vacation to zero. They would be able to buy down to that ceiling of 40 days. So if an employee had, I'll use Ms. Gray as an example, she has one day that she stands to forfeit on July 1. The district would issue a check for her for that one day of vacation and still keep her total at 40 days. Annually, we've done a study over this over the last 3 years. We've had anywhere from 70,000 to 67,000 to this year currently. It would cost the district roughly $100,000, $97,000 in terms of what we captured before. There may have been vacation days that have been taken since then that we would not buy out. But it is an additional benefit to reward those employees or compensate the employees that do work through that time, that do not take that vacation time. Regardless, we do encourage our employees to take their time. Take that time as needed, take that sick leave as needed. If you're not going to the doctor, but you are going to be on personal time, take vacation time. You have that available to you. This would apply to all 12-month employees in every job class that are 12-month employees. I probably need to use a cleaner language. Doug's looking at, I need to use the 240-day employee language because that's how our contracts are built. They're built on days. So any employee that's a 240-day employee and has days that they would forfeit at the end of a fiscal year, they would be able to benefit from this.
And that would be June 30th?
June 30th this year, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Strickland?
I think it's a great idea.
I personally wish that I could force you people to take vacation, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of the kids. And so I'm just going to say what Mr. Strickland said, but I'm just going to say it a little meaner. You people need to take care of yourselves because we want you to be happy, healthy employees. And if you don't take care of yourself, you're not. And then you're gripey and you're cranky and you snap people's heads off. I know how it goes. I've been there, done that. Okay, this requires a motion. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Announcements.
Madam President, a number of announcements there. Mr. Torbiatis shared graduation on Saturday. Looking forward to that. And I'm not washing my car. I may not even take a shower till then. I don't know. Okay, I won't do that. I'll take a shower. But pictures beginning at 8. Last day of school is May the 26th, and just a reminder on that day, it is a half day for students. So elementary students will get out at 12:20. Secondary students will get out at 11:30. It is a full day for staff and allows us to close out the year for grades, classrooms, any other checkouts with their supervisor. Law conference is June 1st through the 3rd, and I believe Terry has the details for you, hotel reservations, and we can work out the travel details as well. Memorial Day, May the 28th, we will be closed. School offices are closed. Ms. Appleton, you mentioned this just briefly, but is Memorial Day the 29th? Yeah, 29th. Apologize on the Memorial Day. It's the 29th instead of the 28th. PLC at Work Institute. So as a school district, we are a PLC district. As we've had our discussions this year, throughout the year, especially what we've done with professional learning, we have the framework built in with our PLC Wednesdays, and we have some language that's been with us and some practices that have been with us for a number of years, quite literally close to 20 years. This is an effort for us to restart that effort in more earnest. If you'll remember, a number of members of cabinet, board members went to, actually Ms. Appleton was able to travel with us to the PLC Summit back last semester, and to really begin that work and moving that ball forward into that. And so on May the 30th and 31st, you're invited to attend, you're encouraged to attend. We will be at the training center, and we will have all members of leadership as well as members of their campus teams present. And we will work through 2 different groups. George Kuros will be there that morning to kick us off with a keynote. And then we have 2 members, 2 consultants from Solution Tree that will take us through that work on Tuesday and Wednesday before we head to law conference on Thursday afternoon. Final announcement there is our regular board meeting on June the 20th, 2023. And to Mr. Calderon's point, we will be back in the boardroom, and we'll see where we are on Southern Heights, and look forward to hosting a board meeting there at Southern Heights. So with that, I stand for questions.
Any questions for Mr. Strickland? Sounds like we've got a busy 2 weeks coming up. Well, Mr. Calderon.
Vámonos.
Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for staying. Have a good evening.